Listen, this is a podcast and a stream for adults, not for children. If you are not an adult or legally need guidance, turn off now. Thank you.
Hello, people. It's me again. Missed me? Hello, Jerry. Oh, he's playing nice today. He's drinking coffee. Oh, that's even worse. Oh. Hello, people. So, Jerry, you remember me nagging you about what? That's weird. Oh, I know why this is. Yeah, I know why this is. This is the bloody headset. The Bluetooth headset is grabbing all the audio. Oh, fuck, that's great. Hang on a second, we're having... Can you people hear Jerry now?
Can you hear me now, you terrible bastards?
Yes, now they can hear. So, I
Fucking amazeballs.
Yeah. So let's start this again. Cheers.
I was entertaining you all with songs there to keep you interested while Pandancer was crawling about his hands and knees.
Lucky me, my PC standing right next to me. What I was going to say was, you all remember me nagging Jerry about asking Monolith about a Minis Only pledge on their Kickstarter.
Yes.
Yeah, well, if you look at the screen, there's my comment on that Kickstarter after pledging $1 to say, get me yourself more Minis.
It's a way to go, certainly. He did say no, but it was something that had been asked already. So I think somebody else must have asked him in one of their other chatty type things that they do.
Well,
and it was what it didn't say definitely 100% not, but I think it would require more people. And board game people are terrible bastards, as we all know.
Funny thing is, I've seen more than one comment that said, do a version without minis and standees only. I can't stand any more minis.
See, like I say, board game players are the worst. You give them quality stuff and they'll just shit on it because board game fans.
Yeah.
Like the people on the Hogs of War Kickstarter. Hopefully they'll all be dead soon.
You wanted to show off something in your tiny window there.
Might do. Could do. Do you want to show them where it came from? I put the link into the running order thing just before the XXX actually.
Hang in there. This would be then this. And
You bastard Harper. Bastard French. Bastard.
So this would be if the site is playing along nicely.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be fine. Why would it not be? It's all
Hell,
being
boy.
run with
There he is.
that sweet Wayland money now, probably. Who knows? So yeah, somebody was asking, are the renders going to, or the miniatures going to stick to the renders? And I can answer that question because while these are only coming out for plebs now, proper people who like Mantic backed this whenever it came out last year. So I've got them here, and by the medium of television, I should be able to swap this. We've already had one technical mishap. What else could possibly go wrong?
What is duplicated?
Nothing's duplicated yet. Oh, sweet zombie Jesus. No.
It takes a wee bit of time. We tried this before the show, it worked. There he is.
So, can I?
And he's in focus. Horrible, horrible focus.
Well, you can't have everything. So this is the first fucker now. That's reversed. It must be some sort of mirrored image because his axe is on the same side as the render. But what I'm seeing there, his axe is on this side in the video, but it's actually in this side in real life. So
but on our side, it's actually identical. So
oh, is it? Oh, that's good.
For me, it's on the left side, the same as the picture.
Well, Skype has it on the right side for me because Skype's some sort of terrible cant of a thing. So as far as render-wise goes, yes, the renders are quite good for the Hellboy. Oh, actually, that picks up the fucking detail much better. That makes no sense because the light hasn't fucking moved. I'm assuming this is Skype doing something clever again. Anyway, so there's him. Who else is in that? Apart from Kachansky, the blah blah blah. Henry Hood. Yeah, he's still in the box. I'm not getting him out. Fuck yous. Dead people. I've got some dead people.
Undead minions.
There's a dead person with a sword.
His here.
And his furry hat. So that's quite good. We've a dead person with an axe. One of Lloyd's favourite.
Because of X.
No, look at the stupid hats on them.
Mm.
They're filthy Byzantine like Russ. I'll go one step further. Look at some fucker with both a shitty hat on him and a teardrop shield. Lloyd's favourite. Look, Lloyd, this would save you having to scrape off all the detail.
But these are one-piece minis, nothing to assemble.
There's nothing to assemble. They're not one-piece minis. They're pre-built. So because there's no way he came out. I think his arms were glued in. There's a mad Cossack as well, just because we've been talking about Sharp today. So it's always good to have a Cossack screaming. And just because dead fellas are funny, here's a guy on a donkey looking a bit conquistador-y. Could probably focus that as well if I work out this. Oh, holy shit! So yeah, as far as renders to miniature goes,
especially given the fact that those are not meant as minis but game board pieces.
It's one of my hairs.
More or less.
To her. Okay. Yeah, on the board now. That it's good that you bring this up because somebody was going, oh, they're really nice, and you can buy these for like dungeon delving sets, just the miniatures from Mantic. But what I will say is, I need a miniature druid for scale.
Do you not have a banana man yet?
No. She is on a standard 20mm, and then she's also on 3mm cork.
Oh, that's a chunky boy.
They are fuck off huge pieces. They're GW 28mm, and by that I mean they are
32 hero scale.
Probably fucking closer to 40. In fact, yes 40mm. So yes, you can buy them separately. Yes, the renders hold up to the sculpt. Will these blend seamlessly with an army you already have? I wouldn't fucking think so.
I guess they should fit into Modifius Skyrim, or range? I know you don't like them because they are a bit on the large side too, I guess.
No, just last time I played an Oblivion-y type game, it was Morrowind. Everything was much squarer back then. So.
Wouldn't that be one for...
Holy shit! The fucking camera came back!
Wouldn't that be one for Heroes... What's it? Heroescape? No, Hero Forge. To make minis directly from old video game assets.
I think it's probably more hassle than they could be arsed with.
Imagine all the pointy Lara Crofts that would be printed. Toros, Ko-fi is literally a little micropayment service you can... it is used for sponsoring...
Oh, it's buy me a coffee type of thing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know why they think that a coffee should be $4, but
probably because of America. They're very good. If you want to set up your superheroes from Marvel Crisis Protocol, they're same scale as them. So if you want to have the creeping undead attack Black Panther and Scarlet Witch and Scarlett Johansson.
Not
the actor, but just the actual.
And paint up the undead in colors of old dead other superheroes.
Could do. There've been quite a few zombie things though.
Make a Halloween hero game.
I'm just going to lovingly dump those on top of that box and forget about them and knock them over later on.
Well, they're not yet painted, so nothing will be done.
Oh,
No
painted
harm.
yet. Huh?
I'm the optimistic here. Even though most people don't seem to think like that. So first thing of the day is a school project we had looked at. Did he advance in it? I'm guessing if you have put it up again. Oh,
it also raised an interesting thing. Like Marvel Zombies. It's worth it just for that time where they had to try and eat Wolverine. He has been working on some gliders and the bridge itself via some sort of felt wizardry.
Cheating. He's cheating.
Cheating.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, we could just be using balsa. Could be knocking them out with balsa and the Smarties tube. Although I've seen Smarties tubes recently and they're hexagonal, not round. What the fuck's the crack with that? Huh? What's going on there? But there's been a bit of progress. There's been some work done on the gliders. There's been some issues with the gliders because they've been doing like sort of cheap and cheerful camo pattern using sprays, using rattle cans. And they were trying to use the Plastic Soldier Company spray, which is, how can I say this?
Not the best.
It's fine, but it requires more work than any other spray can needs to. It's like they saved money by not adding propellant.
Oh.
So
the pressure is a bit on the low side.
The pressure is incredibly on the low side. Whenever you spray it, it's like somebody just going. If you put paint on a brush and went, that's probably not far off it.
Oh, you remember those kids airbrush thingies where you put a
you
pen
got
in?
Brush pen and blew across it. They're better. They have a higher pressure, better coverage. What I will say is, having played around with the Plastic Soldier Company sprays, and I've mentioned this to Joden if he needs to go back to try it again. It really, some sprays can be helped by getting a water bath before you do them to heat them up. Or if you're like being lazy, you just put them lying in a row along the top of a radiator and turn the heating on, and then turn them every so often, and then make sure you lift them down before they explode. But yeah, hot water bath, and then give them a shake up. I would go to Halford's Toros, except Halford's don't cover every paint. Strange that may be, especially when it comes to the weird camouflaged colours.
The thing with the hot water was a tip that the terrain tutor did some time ago when testing rattle cans extensively as he does. And I've tried that ever since, and that works really great if you're painting in larger batches, because it keeps the propellant from getting too stale while using it, because they cool themselves if you use them, which is a weird chemical thing.
Yeah, also the pigment tends to settle to the bottom, and by warming them up, it makes the pigment a little
easier
more
to
liquid,
stir.
flowing. Yeah, flows better. You can hear it moving. But for the PSC cans, need something chronic. I wouldn't try and use one just straight off the shelf. Doesn't matter how much you shake it. That baby needs some heat first. But quite nice to be masking off to do the D-Day black and white stripes, which makes sense because it was D-Day. So
we shall be
that's
looking
quite nice.
forward to more. And 42 recommendations. People, give him a hug. It's a school project. It's nothing for the gamers. It's for a kid, from a kid with his dad. So give him all the likes.
I mean, look at that. I think I have no idea what the fuck it is. I thought it was Christmas wrapping paper. That might be a pope. Don't know what's going on. But whatever it is they've got down. Whatever it is they've got down to. Yeah, but the rest of it isn't Christmassy. You're going, if that's
but that one
Nicholas,
reiterates every more often.
And then there's is that polar bear with could it be Christmas wrapping paper that isn't particularly Christmassy?
Could be.
A bit.
Well, look, if you look at the larger picture, there is the shadow of the Pope on the donkey here, or horse. There's he with himself again with some parcels. There's another parcel. There he is on the donkey again.
Yeah, why not? Go nuts. That could be a polar bear with a bow tie. I have so many questions. Give likes and all the rest, but also ask what the fuck is going on. What are they covering their table with to protect it? Because I have so many questions. So many questions.
The real questions are asked here, answered nowhere. The next op is Battle of Oak Grove by Akadul.
Push pineapple.
A black powder game.
It is black powder. It's a very short little thing. This is a
text heavy.
American Civil War. There are pictures at the bottom. If you want to go and click through the pictures, I'll read out what's going on here. So Akadul is, I think, Polish. It's difficult to tell, but his friends Dmitry and Dmitry were playing the opposition. It should have been a 3x3, but it got a bit messed up. But this is a 7-day battle between the Confederate army led by General MacLeod and let me see who commanded the Union. Well, there's Joseph Hooker was there as well, for which we will be forever happy to know. Hooker, McClelland. The U.S. Army was stationed at the City of Seven Pines. Here we go. 49th Virginian. Blah, blah, blah. He does apologise that he's used text translate from Google. It's actually terrible.
You shouldn't apologise for using a translator if you are actually giving other people insight into your hobby.
I wouldn't apologise anyway. People should be told to fuck off more. Anyway, yes. So it's a black powder game. I think it looks like they're using 6mm. Using the second edition rules.
The table is very much a thing I would call a classical 6mm gaming table. It's very stylized.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's what a gaming table is to me.
I didn't say I hate it.
They might be 10 actually. Because what are they? They must be 40mm bases.
But look at the size of the dice next to them. Sure, that's.
Oh yeah, no, there must be 6 then. Oh, I couldn't get a Tinker's Jizz. I'm just scrolling through the text. Couldn't give a thundering fuck, mate. Anyway, it's a nice little thing. I'll be keen to find out more about what they're playing and if they're going to do any other games, because this was obviously one that was in the standing for a while, because if you see they've actually got the various commanders tagged out beside them, so you can see who various units are supposed to represent the battlefield, so it's obviously
nice
following the historic deployment. I don't know whether or not they went off book after that, or if they had anything set up, sort of train tracked for specific moments in the battle. He does appear to be giving it mostly from the Confederate point of view.
As long as they're not sudden appearances from Space Marines.
No.
I'm guessing this is a club meeting with all club terrain. Used well and often.
I think it's just loved. Friends. Who knows? It should have been a 3x3. It ended up being a 2v1 because people couldn't get out. I assume they were pushed back into their houses before the doors were knocked shut, and then they were set on fire.
There was no event stay indoors.
Anyway,
but this is something we need more of. I think some. Hey, we had a friendly little game. Here's what happened. This is the story I had in my head. And after that, Oriska need to come along and correct them on all their tactical errors they made. Why?
I don't think you'd be able to find out all the tactical errors based on the text.
Oh,
because I imagine that's a very consolidated view of what happened.
Probably. I wouldn't put it beyond him to exactly pinpoint where everything went wrong.
Well, using black powder, that would be the initial start of where it all went wrong.
Chris Finley, you didn't miss very much. Only a showing off of miniatures Jerry has that no one else has yet.
Loads of people have them. Hundreds of people have them. Yes. I can tell you how many of them.
We don't want to know, I think.
Most people want to know.
Well, on to the next project. This is Blinky Wild Hearts. So he really went off and beyond on this thing. I don't think he did any more work in anything prior this year than this setup. And he's not stopping.
He started to add audio
and movement. Just look at the base, the stage he built for this thing. It's weird. And for some reason, I always was thinking that were some leftover from Joan Jett, but Joan Jett is the Black Hearts, not the Wild Hearts, if I remember correctly now.
Holy shit, that's an oldie but a goodie there.
So
did she die recently?
Who? Joan Jett? No, I was just confused because I read the Wild Hearts as a band title, and somehow my brain thought, oh, that must be the Leftovers. Well, for whatever reason. So, does it do sound? Let's hear.
No, she is still alive. I could have sworn she died recently. Apparently there is sound, but I can't hear it. Maybe the kids at home can.
It's very faint.
If you say so. Here's where we find out how many members of our audience are epileptic. Anybody who's having a fit, roll your head back and forward across the keyboard now.
Please call for help now. Yeah, this is...
Well, we've lost one. They had a good innings.
This is a nice one. Then we will jump on to the next, which is some ancient evil.
Ancient evil, but the figure itself is relatively new. This is one that's just started.
I remember.
So there's not a huge amount to see so far.
I remember the a doctor from Dr. Faust's painting clinic has done a miniature in quotes of this 2 years ago or so. He somehow got hold of an old release of this thing, and this looks more like a 3D print.
No, that's resin. That's not shit, mate. That's quality.
It's a small picture. I can't embiggen it.
Don't need to. Look, you can count the squares. Each square is a centimeter.
But I wanted to
tell how wide its
look at
arse
the
is.
details.
It's want with you. This is. Now somebody says it's Oathsworn. I didn't think it was, or if it would start at Oathsworn, I think it's somewhere else now.
Oh, Hazy Boy is having a seizure.
Oh, see, like wiping them all out. But yeah, it's obviously it's a classic model. I looked at this recently. Positive it's not Oathsworn anymore. Anyway, regardless, whoever owns it, this guy's got a copy.
He says Otherworld Miniatures.
Otherworld's right. There we go.
This is going to look nice if he.
I knew it wasn't Oathsworn, but he does. He says Oathsworn in the description, which keeps confusing me.
What? Where?
About
Picked
the
up this
project.
Oathsworn Miniatures.
Yep, same that one.
Yeah, but related company Otherworld. So maybe Otherworld.
Yeah. No, it's definitely Otherworld have it because I'm aware of their work.
Maybe
And
they're selling it
all...
under some recently known as Oathsworn.
No, because Oathsworn's Birds and Badgers. It's all the furry fans.
Oh. Has Ben bought up that company yet, or is he still buying shares in little miniature form?
I think he's slowly but surely just, subsuming it one squirrel or stody or foxy badger at a time. But yeah, for any fans of D&D, it's one to probably take or keep an eye on to see how it progresses. Because I assume he's going to want to try and get it as close as possible to the old guide front cover. So
this, if you could have this and then cut it in half, just in the middle, that would make an awesome bookshelf mini to put your
for your bookends.
Yes.
Could do that. Don't do that. Don't you do that?
Cut it in half.
Don't cut it in half. Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
What? Oh, and it's a project by 144 Artists, who already has a track record of golden buttons, so I'm guessing he don't need one for this yet.
Oh, see, well, it's like when it's painted.
Yes.
He's even got tiny sequins, so he can use it for gems, presumably. But I'm assuming that's what they're going to be used for. Because you need those.
Yeah, probably. People have too much talent and time. Next up, speaking of Ben.
Ben.
More time, warband planning.
Yes, this is Ben hooking for things. So what we want to do is throw him a curveball because he's found the companies he thinks he's going to use for his Mordheim warbands. So obviously now is an ideal time for other people to get in there and just go, oh, you can't use those witch hunters. You should really be using blank from blank. Just to give him options.
You know what he should do? He should put in $1 into the Mythic Kickstarter and nag about the minis.
It would be yeah. The only issue with that is making a warband is tricky with the 10 completely desperate-looking miniatures.
Well, he has green stuff, hasn't he?
You'd need a shitload of green stuff to make them look anything less than big bubbly-headed fellas. But it's nice sets, and I can see why he's going for them. Out of all of them, I think the new Gripping Beast Age of Magic miniatures are probably my favourite that he's selected. But I certainly wouldn't kick the others out of bed.
Who would kick minis out of bed?
I don't know. Weird people. People go, why do brothers miniatures into bed with you? They're sharp and pointy and metal. I've got a pike in my bum.
Don't pick up pike rows. Rows of pikemen by the bare hand.
You know, omelette and eggs on that one. So these are his 3 suggestions for Reiklander and Witch Hunter and Marienburg, I think. Isn't Marienburg is the last one he wants to go for? You'll see at the top of that.
Warband.
No, at the top of that one. Yeah, the other top.
Marienburger Warband.
Oh, you've gone down. There we go. Guy with the Welsh. I'd seen your guy that you painted do glass, the faux glass. So it'll be interesting if people have seen other things that would do the job. I think some of the 1666 stuff from that Polish company would make very good Mordheim warbands. Obviously, that Witch Hunter Force looks fucking phenomenal.
I was just thinking, what about the human minis from Freebooter's Fate? Some of them should fit in, more or less.
Yes, that's true. You could certainly do pirates, do pirate ghosts, zombie pirate ghosts.
The Born. Give Ben his recommendations, make him choose a faction and stick with it.
Ideally what I want to do is slow him up a bit, because he keeps coming on going, I had 3 days off and painted an entire Rebel warband, and that I need to hamstring him essentially. Now, if he's narrowed it down to these 3 for these 3 warbands, what we need is more
options.
Those mom miniatures are all well and good, but I hear they're full of bubbles. Here's a company makes stuff in beautiful metal that isn't. Just throw it out there. Just FYI.
He caught everybody a bit off guard when saying, "Oh, I went on holiday for 3 weeks, and after 3 days, everything I wanted to do was done."
Just kick back, spend the rest of his time.
I was thinking maybe he had coffee brewed with energy drink and was 72 hours awake, and after then dropped dead for 2 weeks.
Maybe he just sat down and painted. I have days off and I do fucking nothing. And then occasionally I'll, do lots of stuff, and it takes me fucking forever and a day. I've assembled so much shit recently. I sprayed the living buggery out of the about the next 2 months worth of fucking models for Conquest, including that mad-looking bastard.
Well, you're so far ahead of the curve on this one. I'm sure you can take a day off or something.
Really can't. On holidays next week, I don't want to look near anything that's vaguely work-related. I'm just going to put my hand down my pants and paint something I want to paint myself.
As long as it don't paint yourself?
No.
So, do we want to the next project?
Yeah, let's do that.
Small is the New Big by Dunham99. I'm guessing he's going on Little Things?
Yes.
Oh, 10mm fantasy.
I thought you liked this because it's those lovely people from the Forest Dragon that you were looking at.
These very fine detailed microscopic miniatures.
Could be Mandos. Could be.
Oh, those are...
Could be the plastic Mandos. Could be the 3D resin Mandos. Look at him, huh?
That's tiny.
He is, as you say, tiny. He is 10mm of tininess. That's the mad count. I can't remember which von Karstein he was. Not Manfred.
Konrad?
Oh, I need to look it up.
Konrad from Warhammer Fantasy is the inspiration.
Is the mental one. Yeah. If we just find the original, because he doesn't have he's got the artwork in there, but there should be a miniature. Oh, look at this. Look at those lovely bases. A little fucking square that you can rank up and play a proper game with.
We hadn't had a base rant in a long while.
No, you're right. We haven't. Don't worry, I'll get back to it. Conrad. Because he just has Conrad and possibly Isabella. Now, let me see.
It's focusing. Yes.
Under my finger there.
Yes, we can see.
Spiky armor. Now, his cape in that is actually a cape that turns into bats on that model, which I don't think they've tried to replicate in 10mm for
Not really.
reasons.
That would have been batshit crazy.
That would have been batshit crazy when you did that.
I couldn't stop myself, and I didn't even try.
I have so many armies that are red and black. And red and black is obviously the county down colours, which are the best colours. But it also means I tend to fucking always do red and black. So I'd like to not do it for once. But at the same time, I don't really want to know what I'm going to do. Round bases for the win. You got yourself on, Dutch. This is why you keep sinking underwater.
Is a heretic in the chat? Get him. Put him. Wherever. Kargrim's RPG Minis is next by Kargrim.
I fucking do not want to do Arma. Well, unless you mean do Arma as in level it. Mayo. Fucking Mayo. Mayo, where I may point out a man was filmed last week filling a fucking plastic bag at the petrol pump.
Oh, I've seen
from
that.
Mayo, and then he picked it up and put it in a wicker basket.
Yeah, and
there's a budget coming, and the price of petrol's going to go up.
And the
fucking genius.
The plastic bag, one of the plastic bags was leaking because, of course, gasoline dissolves the damn plastic.
Oh, it wouldn't even matter, I don't think, because most plastic bags have to have holes in them to prevent suffocation.
And the thing that I wondered was, if he's getting into his car and has a 30-minute drive home, he's going to be stoned when he's get home because of all the fumes. And if he's lucky, he's lighting a cigarette.
Oh,
car goes boom.
Suffice to say, Mayo, not the cleverest. Where are we at here? What's going on? Oh yes, cargo. And
proper bases on.
These are for Dungeony Saga. So he's using the big Dungeony Saga plasticky flagstone stuff, but the miniatures on them aren't Dungeon Saga.
Oh, shame.
So these are a variety. Quite a few come from Bones, because I own quite a few of them, which means they're from the first Bones. And then there's other things mixed in there.
Why are they all standing on stones?
Because they are from Reaper Bones, and therefore required things to. They're all got an equivalent of a puddle base, so they could be cast. And then he's glued them onto the square bases afterwards, so you can use them in Dungeon Saga.
I guess the material does lend itself well to being cut or sawed off.
It's very rubbery.
Because I would have tried to at least get 1 foot on the ground. Because this way it looks a bit stupid.
It's a bigger contact point, so less likely to break off. And you will find with that unusual plastic that you have to use super glue, and it doesn't particularly like super glue.
So pinning, hot gluing, super glue, all the things at once, just to make sure it stays where you put it.
Oh, it won't. Don't worry. You can get a specific PVC glue if you want to. That's used for pipe fitting and stuff. It takes a fucking age to dry. Smells remarkably good though. So.
Those are usually the worst, the ones that smell good. What is that?
It's a Dark Young. One of Shub Niggurath's little kids.
It reminds me a bit of the Sarlacc pit having a walk.
That's more or less what they're like. They're like walking tree thing, tentacle monsters. I've got one in the next room. If that's on a 50mm base, I'd say that's probably tight. More likely to be 75. because it's a big fucking model. Because I was going to use it for a long time in Kings of War as a Portal of Despair.
The Ice Troll is a 50mm base, and look at how much space he has left to write on this photo box. And then we have this chunk. This must be 70 at least, maybe even a 100.
I think it's because he plays a lot of Mantic stuff. I think it's more likely to be either 50 or 75. They don't have any 100mm squares. Also, it's not big enough, I think, for 100. No, it's not. I could get up and go into the other room and just check, but who has that sort of time? I mean, I certainly don't.
And then he has a Hydra.
He has a Hydra, another Reaper Bones Hydra, which is not beside me for once. I quite like that. It's quite a nice Hydra. It's not my favourite Hydra, but it is about 4 times cheaper than my current favourite Hydra. So,
look at all those pubes on there.
You know, any hole's a goal. Hydra's got 5 miles to fill. Get in there.
You're giving the word orgy a complete new definition.
Yeah, the footsore one. Because it fits beautifully on a 75mm square, which is what you want when you're running it as a Titan in your Forces of Nature force. Or with your Twigletkin. Twigletkin.
He has a thing for large beasties, it seems.
He's mostly been just working through bones and fitting bones into games. Because I bought the first Reaper Bone Kickstarter and went, yeah, send me everything. I'll find a use for it. I haven't found a use for fucking half of it. And clearly he's gone on and got more than just the first bones. So, well.
And he does a... how do I put it and not sound like a jerk? It's somehow a basic coloring scheme with not too much highlighting and detailing, but at the same time it looks very good because it's a very consistent paint style and the execution is good.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to paint those stripy highlights on that belly.
No, I wouldn't do it.
That fucker would get a dry brush off me if it was lucky, although let's face it, what it would get is a prime.
And a zenithal highlight. Let's
I get a zenith.
Because if you're around with rattle cans...
They haven't got a zenith yet. I've done this. You're like this. Hazy boy.
Oh god, now he's going to show off.
I'm not going to show off.
Oh, that's
the
beetle one.
The big fuck off beetle. So...
The torch machine.
Yeah, because I couldn't decide. I hate the look of the feet on it. And so I decided to have it knuckling forward running. And that's when I discovered this. And I'll show you in a second. Hang on. So we've got... So it's got 4 legs. These are the spare feet, right? There's 16 fucking feet for this fucking thing. 4 sets of 4 counting feet. It annoyed me so much because I couldn't work out how to put the bastard thing together. I looked up online and discovered that the digital artists have the knees for the big legs pointing one way and then the knees for the little legs pointing the other. Nobody, including Parabellum, have ever assembled one of these models with the legs in that orientation. Even their official one have got both sets of fucking knees going the same fucking direction. So I've gone for this mad running cunt, but I've also used one of every type of foot on it just because it fucking annoyed me so much. Because you're trying to work out how you can set this. You know, every limb is ball socket. So there's no way where you can go, okay, if I put this here, then that locks in place. You have to position them, glue it, and then position another one and glue it without knowing where the legs or where the feet are going to go, because the feet obviously are different shapes and sizes and fit different contact points.
Don't throw it against the wall.
And then because it amused me, I'd seen something about that Area 51 assault recently where they were all going to fucking run with their arms out behind them like twats, and I went, oh fuck it, why not, I'll do that. So it's running like a fuckwit with its arms out behind it in a Y, and that's how my fuckwit machine will be running.
I think Dutch just said it very fittingly, feet lovers unite.
Oh yeah, I mean Quentin Tarantino I'm pretty sure would have both hands down his kecks by the time he'd finished unboxing that fucking thing.
So you're calling it officially now your Tarantino?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah. Did you not see that we should all invade Area 51, they can't stop us all, and there were a bunch of fuckwits running with their arms behind them like that? Remind me when you used to be like a kid in the playground.
The Naruto running style.
The what?
It's an anime TV show
That's
called
that technical
Naruto.
porn stuff that Justin likes.
No, it's actually not anything like that.
Sure.
It's a children's TV show. And when they start running, they throw their arms behind them like they did on the Area 51
Okay.
raid.
Okay. And then the tentacles take them roughly from behind.
If there are tentacles in Area 51, maybe. Maybe that was all they were looking for. Love in the strange places.
That would be a strange place.
Next up, Thousand Suns, Cribbets and what the fuck? People, I need someone to pronounce your names to me. Jerry, tell me what we are looking at besides very colourful backgrounds.
Oh, it's super colourful backgrounds. Barely an inconvenience. Somebody's got a light box with different coloured backgrounds. I'm assuming they're experimenting the same way I've done, trying to work out what background is best.
It looks like a Windows logo going wrong.
I haven't found a background that doesn't look shit yet. But these are, as Doug says, if Egypt did Ultramarines. So Thousand Suns are essentially Chaos Space Marines. Very Egyptian themed, all sorcerers, nobody's alive anymore. They're just walking suits of armour filled with dust. Which means, if you think about it, every time they take a step, there should be a sound like a shaker full of sand.
Yeah,
all the dust
I'm guessing if they have a dance-off, it's a very samba-like experience when everything's going...
It's just all the bones and dust at the bottom of their boots. So, I don't know if they've been breaking out something in particular. Whether they've been bunking straight into a whole wealth of stuff, because there's a bit of a mix of demons and Chaos Spac Marines along with the vehicles. So it's the beginning of a force, and they're going all in on the poppy colours, which I think is the only way to go when you're doing Thousand Suns, especially with that sort of metallic blue.
Yeah, that blue is quite irritating.
Iridescent, is that the word you were looking for?
Maybe.
I quite like it. So that is a silver spray and then a blue contrast over the top. I mean, that just screams. Who's our Thousand Sun cultist in the chat? Hazy boy. I take it you just do standard plain blue, and then a Brain Matter beige dry brush and then blue ink over the top. You don't go silver. I really like the metallic blue on it. I don't know if it's anything that GW have bothered doing, because I know occasionally they will do alternate schemes in some of the codices. I don't know if GW have ever done it with the metallic, but I think that's really spanking.
I think I need a button that does Brain Matter beige and brings up the little bottle in front of the monitor.
We love you. Oh, Hazy boy, hang on. That's why you're here.
Oh.
Not the Sabine Wren. That's not for... Don't throw her out of the way. Nobody cares about her anymore. You've probably got some of these. Did I mention I got these?
Oh no, he's got Winnie's Kingpin. I can see Kingpin.
You can. Bullseye and Daredevil and Punisher and the Taskmaster.
Oh, I saw the painting tutorial from Sorastro on Kingpin, which looks phenomenal.
And then I got the cards for the... which are coming out on the... and we're getting ready to do a big... for 2 weeks, because it's going to be a big fuck-off release. I think it's safe to say everybody knows what they are because they teased them during the summer, during the event, Remain Indoors.
I think
I've got
Hazy is
giant fucking feet everywhere.
Going on a tangent right now. He's having a stroke. Somebody call the ambulance.
Feet.
So back to these nice blue metallic loyalists.
Yes. The other thing, normally they're blue and gold. It's a more coppery color than a yellow gold they've gone for, which is a bit. Not sure if I like it or dislike it. It's different. Put it like that. I think if it had been yellow gold, it would be too
bright,
too nausea-inducing. I think the fact that the blue's got that sort of metallic punch behind it, maybe the sort of the copper is probably a better shout on that.
I think so too. The bronzy look is more subtle, especially when you're adding this violet banner and you see here on the right all those dudes with their little handkerchiefs running around their crotches.
Yes. No, we would have gone with tabard or loincloth. Either would be fine there.
Well, it's not made from loin. They're a lion. There's no lion here. Oh, and he's wasting money. Don't tell Lloyd.
That's number E. That's how you know that.
Maybe some secret code. But he's on a run, or rather, should we say, they are on a run with this.
They are. Don't know how much of it is.
So this is what
Stu and how much
GW
is
thinks you
Helena.
should paint them.
Yeah, I mean they're more or less keeping the color scheme the same. Light blue / turquoise and gold.
And
Go nuts.
I think if we look at these pro painted minis, they seem to have the goal to make the blue shimmer somehow a bit, because there's very much highlighting going on here, and I think using the metallic blue is simply the lazy man's way of doing it, and maybe even doing it better.
Well, for lazy.
And the bronze fits more like this dull gold bronzy look. We will see where it all ends, hopefully.
Madness and death. That's where it all ends.
Life.
E for Elizabeth. Yes. P. That makes sense. E for Elizabeth. Not defacing the money, you understand. So well done, Stu and Helena.
Yes, giving all the button pushes. Too many buttons to push.
Too many buttings.
Since this has all been updated on one day, I'm guessing he went a bit mental after having to push it. The publish button ample times.
Possibly.
Well done, Kravitz and Kalyanyadas. Whatever.
Stu and Helena.
If you say so. Next up.
I do.
Longcallos, Burrows and Badgers. We have been here before.
Yes. But now we've got Snake.
Snake!
Snake!
Snake! Badger, 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 badger. Mushroom, mushroom, mushroom. Have fun with that.
I don't know what I like best. I think it's the weird pictures that are tacked on each one, so you get the idea of what the color scheme is going to be.
You mean this one?
The bunny or the mouse in particular. I mean, that one's like, you looking at me, pal?
You what, mate? You what, mate?
And the mouse.
All the cuteness.
Please don't kill me.
Can I have some more? Please, mister, some more. Yes, and there's a color reference for the moving leather belt.
Yes.
The 2B shoes.
The danger noodle. So there's not a huge amount in there so far, but we know where it's going because we have the grip shot at the start. So you can work out who's been done and who's coming. Hopefully we'll see a sort of completed grip shot as they continue moving through.
And just look at the detailing he's done on those little purity sealed scrolls.
So that
and the eye! Look at that
danger
eye!
noodle fights for the emperor.
Oh, much too talented for own good. Longcallow. At least he's not a lone star.
Only one person would give me the raspberry.
He jammed our radar. Did you see anything? No, I didn't see that you're playing with your toys again. Next up, Crazy Red Coat. What did he do? Fjorden af Norge. So he went to hell and back.
It's Nature You Crazy, I think, is it? And this is just because I quite like it when people do these, because it's really good for inspiration on how you should be basing things or how you should be doing gaming tables. Gaming tables is a feature we'll come back to anyway. So there's some quite nice Nordic scenes, I suppose, from the Scandinavians.
Though I think he's pushing the title of his project a bit if he's taking pictures of buildings. But that's just me being...
It's made out of wood. Think of it as a very condensed forest.
Oh, this Viking museum I like a lot. If or anything, this is a long, long house.
That's fairly fucking sweet. Based on a longhouse. Clever bastards.
Oh, and the inside is nice too.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. How much use people will get out of it, obviously mileage will vary. There are a few projects kicking about. That's one I've been pestering Lloyd and Tom and Warren to do since before they launched the new site. Is do like a terrain.
Yeah, we talked
filter.
about this once or twice, and I still think there should be something like that.
Yeah, just so you can go, I want to see pictures of and then you can find pictures of
Maybe.
Also, I watched a great... actually, I watched two good things on Amazon recently, and neither of them were porn. So well done me. One is Viking Huntress, which is family in the middle of fuck nowhere in Sweden waiting for dad to come home from a raid. It's been 2 years. It's really good. I'll just say that. If you get a chance to watch it, Viking Huntress, don't Google it in advance. Because I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise. And then there is a documentary, a Danish/Polish documentary on the Baltic states. I think it's called like The Last Pagans, or Baltic The Last Pagans, and it's very good. It's like an hour long, and it's a mixture of sort of reenactment type thing plus history thrown in, plus some little medieval style animations of what's going on as they try to explain the people and how they got ruffle stomped in the 1300s by the Catholic Church's expansion.
I just thought maybe we don't need something like a project system like thing for environments, but more or less a world map where you click on a region you want to build your sceneries in, and then it pops out.
That's even more clever. Yes, do that. How do you do that?
Ask Lloyd.
No point in asking Lloyd. Just stare at me.
Hello, laughing boy. Sorry to not join your stream tonight, but I do other things tonight.
There is a Viking who is a huntress. This is true. She comes home with some rabbits at some point. That's how you know she's a huntress, because she hunted the rabbits.
This project reminded me of the museum you once showed off, where the kids section was next to the sacrificial grounds.
Yes, in Sweden.
I still have a giggle when I think about that.
I think it's great.
And
I do want to visit it so much. I have friends in Malmo, so maybe I'll make my way down there at some point.
I would go and bet that people who planned that did notice, had a giggle, and did it anyway. And nobody else really gets the connection.
Well, sometimes you've just got to look at it and go, this is how this shit goes.
People will hate it either way. So next...
Baltic... Baltic Tribes. It's like an hour and 10 minutes documentary.
Oh,
But it's quite good.
so Viking hunters and Baltic tribes.
Yes.
Watch it after this, or tomorrow, or buy it later.
Yeah, phone in sick to work. Just watch it. Romanos, they go to the house.
British for Dux Britanniarum. Numeri Group 3. Whatever that means. Cuirass. The company in question should be Two Fat Lardies, a historical game of sorts.
It mentions Russ Filth.
It does?
PK.
Huh.
Yeah. Not the arms, but the Russ Filth. Get a rock out. Yeah, so we've seen this before. I think I may have even forced the golden button upon him because it was just so nice to see things. There's been quite a bit done since then, including buildings. So I felt it was time to come back.
I seem to remember the shields.
Hey, you would, wouldn't you? I would.
Just look.
I certainly remember them because they're all sitting over there and fucking
Just look at
bags waiting
this
to be put onto
nice
things.
multi-base thing he has done.
If they were on squares, you wouldn't have to do that saboting shit.
Yeah.
Just saying. You just put the squares together.
But the one
Go
advantage
nuts.
he has on using it this way is you can alternate the way you put the miniatures, so you don't have to be too careful where you put who with what weapon.
Yeah, but if everybody's got their spear pointing up, marching in a lovely phalanx with their pikes,
But
then you don't have to worry about that.
But are there Romans?
They're Romans, so they won't have pikes, but they'll certainly march in a fucking phalanx when they're told to. Bitches. Nighty Mad Doc. I've got mine for late Roman saga. Yeah.
Oh man, don't you
for
worry. We won't give Gary any more feet. Just ground to walk on.
No, I don't think anything else. I say that something else has more legs than it should. I don't think I need to worry about it though.
Just be careful that you don't step on them later after you've chucked them so carelessly.
No, they all landed precisely where I wanted to on the floor. Oh, God, have a look at the blue guy. Blue guy.
Oh,
The other up. Him.
that's a lovely...
Because I really like just the little detail bits he's done on them.
I was just going to say, those aren't modeled on, that's painted on.
No, he's just painted up. It's the classic Kev Dallimore style of how to paint historical wargame figures. It's all layer. Move on. And up close, the layers, like you can see there, are very noticeable. But when you look at the small pictures, which are more or less what you would see when you're playing with them, it gives a very striking
Or if they
paint job.
on the other side of the table because they don't belong to you but to your opponent. And you see them coming and go, okay, fuck it, I'm losing anyway.
It's a classic. I never really took off with fantasy painters so much, but historic painters do it an awful lot. I really like the building as well.
Maybe because fantasy players have been spoiled by the detail richness of some companies' miniatures.
No, that's not it.
Is
Because
this-
they're at the time when that technique was being developed for historics, fantasy miniatures had the same amount of detail, but they never really seemed to go for that, which is strange considering mass battle games. Doesn't matter what you're painting. If you're looking to paint stuff quickly, it's a really good way of doing it. But strange how things turn out.
He has really done a shitload of things. And
Oh, got stuck in there.
even worse, he's done it so well.
If it makes you feel any better, the shield edges should not be metal. They should be leather.
So he did spot an error.
Yeah. So
Oh.
it makes you feel maybe like historically.
That's a
they may
relief.
as well fuck them in the bin. They're ruined now.
Get him stripped to him all over again.
Yep. Oh, I seen somebody complaining about varnish in the forums, and I told them how to fix it. I think it was Elysium. I went, yeah, I've already started stripping them down. And a few people had suggested go ahead and strip it. I'm going, no. If you've painted something and you fuck the varnish, fix the varnish. Don't immediately go to strip it down. Christ on a bike.
And I seem to recall in some posts he said he didn't want to redo the painting.
By the time, maybe by the time we got the responses, he'd already just went fuck it.
Yeah, there's a
Into
thing.
the devil.
There's a thing that I myself have asking a question in the forum, and not only on tabletop but elsewhere, and within 30 minutes my mind goes into the overdrive fuck it and I start over.
Told him that as well, Pete. I went olive oil or gloss. Olive oil requires a bit more cleanup afterwards, whereas gloss, once it's dry, you can just leave it to cure and then fuck a mat over it again. But yeah,
and
this is a delightful little project. I like the fact that he stopped halfway through to do a bit of treeing, because, tables.
the problem with fixing your errors is if he's going back all the way of repainting, there's no way of telling if the next coat of varnish isn't going to be fucked up again. And then he's at the same point that he was before. Well,
it's one of the reasons I bought an airbrush more than anything else. Priming and varnishing. Even if I never learned how to do any techniques with it at all, it's fucking another foot.
They are multiplying.
They're not multiplying. There's so fucking many of them. Just the fact that I could safely put primer and varnish on my models regardless of the time of year indoors and never have to worry about it being screwed was worth it in itself. It was just like, I fucked a unit of crossbowmen for my dogs of war. So Braganza's procedures, all lovely, all done. Very nice. Sprayed them and they all ended up like fucking crispy critters, all frosty bastards. So yeah.
Shall we move on then?
Yes, let's move on. R2
Rubber
says
Band
move on as
Flight by Spare 6712.
Yes.
Whatever. So he's doing
different
weird things. I remember those.
I remember older, better, different ones where they were just,
just
plain
wood without paint, and then
it wasn't even wood. Whenever I used to get them, it was like some sort of weird. I want to say it was like a foam. Get a little foamy thing. They came in little paper, like a fucking sherbet dip dab. You would tear the end off, take your 2 bits of foam out, slot them together, and then stick a plastic nose cone on it to give it weight, and just chuck them around to glide them.
I remember those, and the funny thing is, you remember this long-running video game Star Citizen? In 2016 at Gamescom, they used that toy as a promotional material.
Oh, that's amazing.
They used a Starfighter model generically, and yeah, it's somewhere up there on my bench.
So, yeah, well, you can still get them. There's a toy shop in town here, if they ever reopen, sell them. They used to be like 10p or 20p. It was amazing. Now, that's more complicated than the little foamy ones I used to play with. Look at that, with its rubber band for fucking throttle and stuff.
This is not for indoor use.
Of course, any toys for indoor use. Depends how much you treasure your other stuff. But this isn't why we're here. We're here because of this. And this is not the rubber bandy thing. This is a whole build your Spitfire, build the Framature, and then cover everything. So
this is model
tissue.
Building in its literal meaning. Oh, these
it's nice. Balls, isn't it?
Did he say what this set cost? I dare not look.
I'll have a look. You keep scrolling. I'll have a wee newsy.
Because those things are really tempting. It's like meditation with something to show off afterwards. Just look at this.
So watch him build all his superstructure. Blah, blah, blah. Pew, pew, pew.
And the best thing is that it's not far from the original.
No, it's not. So that is, assuming he bought that one, which is a beginner's kit from the Vintage Model Company, that's £30.
That's less than I've expected.
I put it to you that is £30 well spent.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
Now, I'm looking at the beginner kits. There do appear to be more expensive ones up to and including a remote-controlled 36-inch
Look,
wingspan
at-
Messerschmitt which is nearly £300.
this is
So,
a
you know-
24 centimeters wingspan on this one.
Yep. I mean, for 30 quid, fucking get in there.
Oh, this is lovely. Just yesterday, I told my wife, I think I know what I want for Christmas. And I suddenly can't remember what it was. I think it has been replaced.
Yeah, you should definitely get one of these.
Oh, this is lovely.
Oh, there's a Battle of Britain kit, which gives you a Spitfire and a Messerschmitt, and you save money. Save a £5, get one of each. Hang them from your roof, go, yeah, pew, 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 pew. Make
Yeah,
noises.
and then I'm painting them accurate, historically correct, and get shot by my neighbors.
That's fine. Let's put Balkan Cruise on them. But anyway, I digress.
Oh, this looks lovely.
Yeah, so he doesn't just get it built, gets it painted, and then my favourite part of the entire project comes next.
He burns.
No, him and the kids take it outside and fucking throw it around like you're supposed to.
Wait,
because it's a fucking glider.
this is not a display piece.
No!
This is
It's
a
a
working.
fucking toy! This is a toy for people to play with. Anybody who buys toys and doesn't play with them are bastards.
Ready?
Terrible bastards.
You got press. Okay.
Oh,
Go.
I'd be
Wee,
scared shitless.
wee. But it's balsa and tissue paper. It's so light, and I think the last bit in this is
Backing them front in the air.
there was some damage from chucking it around the field. But that means you bring it back into the house, you break out the glue and a bit more tissue paper, and you repair it.
Oh, this is. Oh god, Jerry, I hate you for showing me. Look what has broken off. It's a damn plastic propeller that has snapped.
Of course it is, because the rest is all quality wooden tissue. If you make that shit out of, you probably make that out of something else. You probably get a milling machine and just a block of aluminium and just mill down your. No, too much. Going too far.
I would go on a limb and say that would be too heavy, probably, but those
Yeah,
look
but, you know,
great.
I'm gonna go ahead and chuck the link into Vintage Model Company there, just in case anybody else is looking for them. The World War II foam planes, those are them. Those are them. £3.50. Is that a pack of 12, one of each for £3.50?
Oh, you need those when.
That's amazing, because that's only a 30% increase over what they used to cost when I was a kid. If that's the price.
You need a pack of those for whenever the hobby center is reopening completely to the public and have a plane party.
Yeah.
Make everybody throw planes at each other.
Oh, I just stand at the door and chuck them at people as they come in.
Oh, this is lovely.
So yeah, that's an interesting little model thing, and then go out with the family and wing it around the place, because why not? It's all good in the hood.
This is just too good to be not seen. Why hasn't this cropped up in my feed? I don't know. The project system is busted.
I don't know. That's the Graf Spee again.
And if
I'm pretty sure he's not named after the pocket battleship, but I keep wanting to put Graf in front of Spee because I can't read Spee without thinking Graf.
Well, you wouldn't be far off. And
Yeah.
if anybody, Ben, Warren, Lloyd, everybody, give this man a button. Give it to him. Look, this is 6 weeks in the making and hasn't been even mentioned.
Well, I like to do that sometimes. It's like 42 Star Destroyer. There are things I see that sometimes I just want to wait until the bitter end, until they've been completely finished before I go, you should see this, because I think there's so much potential. And other ones I just can't hold my wish on.
This is just one of the examples of things that Warren said he wanted to have in the project system, not just painted minis.
Yeah.
So acknowledge the amount of work that has gone into this lovely little model. A flying fucking model. Off to the next, otherwise I'll need tissues myself.
Amazing.
Dwarf Gun Line by Umbra.
Umbra.
So I'm guessing this is dwarfs doing the conga?
Yeah.
See,
this
dwarfs
is
doing
what-
the
this is-
conga. I
this
told
is
you.
What, this is what every dwarf army ever looks like, more or less.
I now
Which is
imagine them going into war
fucking-
going...
Yeah, sounds like a dwarf army. You arrived on the battlefield, you looked at your terrain, and then you looked at your opponent's army, which was 2 lines deep at the back of the board, and you just waited to be shot off the table. So, you know, good, clean family fun. But it's a really nice collection, because it's a mixture of the Island of Blood starter, Fields of Athenry. I can't know, who knows. Anyway, it's one of the starter sets, so they're very, very startery in that, you know, what they are all one-piece miniatures. So there's a couple of sets of those have gone together to make proper sized units, and then there's also the metals, like we have the Lord on his shield swinging like a gudgeon.
With a book on his back.
Hey, you know, you've got to maintain your book of grudges so it can be copied down into the massive grudge ledger later on by High King. If people don't know who has wronged you, how can you right those wrongs?
Exactly. Make yourself easy, hate everyone, kill them all, let God sort them out later.
Darn tootin', Kirk shirt for the win. At least we're not seeing his mad flares on him.
What is that?
Maybe that isn't beards, hairy chests. That's a rune master with a rune staff. Imagine he's just about to jab that into somebody's forehead and give them a dose of the old runic power.
Ah, so he's literally stamping enemies.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I'm seeing things right.
Mm.
Oh, look, this is the Lloyd one. He has got the giant snips and is taking off the enemy's balls.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Engineer.
I remember those minis from way back when, but I don't think I've seen so many of them so lovingly painted.
That's weird. Why are they on? Okay. Trying to work out why they're on round bases. I'm so confused.
Because they never were on bases initially? Maybe?
Technically, no. You are correct in that respect. They didn't have to be on bases. But it's just the rest of the army's on lovely squares. Why run it with rounds?
Ooh.
Yep. Look, it's like he visited that museum in the Norway place.
And then 3D printed it. Oh, I almost orgasmed, but now I can't unsee the print lines. Oh,
Don't
what
worry,
a shame.
There's a tower at the bottom with even more print lines on it.
But the paint job,
Can
he's
anybody
done
remember
a
the name of
terrific
the
job.
old Warhammer Dwarf army from the 80s? Do you mean the Imperial Dwarves? This could be Uthar's Imperial Dwarves, which were a regiment of renown. Or it could be Bugmans. They've been around fucking forever and a day.
Buckmans, I think those, I only know those as a sponsor of Blood Bowl.
Yeah, there've been 4 iterations of the Bugman's Rangers, going all the way back. But I really like this. It's a nice.
And again, it's a paint job that is more or less simple, but so
Yeah.
efficient and consistent that you can't help but
He
loving them.
Yeah, he's been speed painting them for 9th Age, which fair fucks to him, because I read the 9th Age rules once and went, you know what? No.
Just look at this glory
Dude,
shot.
there. Yeah, like that.
Oh,
Could be Bugmans.
nice.
Do they have big axes, shields on the back, crossbows? If they're the 80s ones, they'll be one-piece puddle base. And they're all facing that way, firing with their arms very tight to the body.
Oh, more terrain.
Yes,
Cheated terrain.
more terrain. Some are cheating. Definitely. Because there's a fucking huge thing coming up that's definitely cheating.
Oh, and here comes the tower. I give him that. He can paint up his 3D printed stuff quite well. I'd even go so far as to say he's putting on more time and work on his terrain than on the minis.
Oh, you know, the minis may not always be on the table, but the terrain might be.
This is...
Especially if it's 3,000 points, whatever that means for the 9th age. Presumably that's the same as 3,000 points of Warhammer. And let's face it, because it just fucking is Warhammer.
Of course it is. Just like the living rulebook is the rulebook for Blood Bowl. Speaking of Blood Bowl, have you heard any whisperings on the pricing from the new Blood Bowl set?
No, I heard any whisperings. I think we've got it. I never bothered looking at the GW
because I only saw the project announcement, but no prices to be spoken of. And I'm thinking
somebody put it in Discord yesterday, the day before, over the weekend. Somebody put it in Discord from a trade account.
Oh, that must have passed me. Because I was wondering, because they added the referee models and 2 big guys, and the last iteration was, I think, 70, 80 pounds. So I'm guessing the current one will, or the to be expected one will go past the 100. Way past.
It's entirely possible. I'll have a look. Oh no, look, there's all those lovely pikemen again. Sorry, it's distracted me. Distracted me with pikemen.
Panzer says it's 125. So it's one giant, or a complete game of Blood Bowl. This giant comparison is getting more value than it should.
Oh, it wasn't on this page, that's why. I just had Necromunda and Space Marines and that sort of thing. Bam.
Well,
anyway.
I'm taking Panzer's word for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So venture on to the next one, which is somebody in space populating the Damocles sector. 144 artists, again, doing something for science fiction.
Pigs in space. So breaking into some old stuff and then scratch building some new stuff. This is, I think, being used for Dead Zone. Certainly there are Dead Zone pieces in there. So time will tell if it's going to be multi-purpose or not. But there's been a fair amount of whishery-do done. I don't know where the portals have all come from, if he's 3D printed those or whatever, but look at that. Foam core with plastic card. Wow.
They don't look like printed. There are no print lines, so I'm guessing resin.
That could be a resin print.
Well, that would be a lot of printing that he has done.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
So foam core, one of the nicest building materials that is.
Oh, it's fucking gorgeous. Every bit of it is amazeballs. Resin from a Kickstarter says Stew of the Evilness. Not to be confused with Good Stew, who left earlier. But yeah, here he has the Secret Weapon Dead Zone train tiles. Secret Weapons tiles, they were an unusual thing that existed for like a time and then all went away.
And he's using those as a reference or as a base?
No, he's using those as his base. So 4 tiles.
No, I see.
Modular means you can, that's each square is 3 inches on those tiles for your Dead Zone games. So he's populating his board. The fact he has set it up as a 2x2 leads me to believe it is going to be Play Dead Zone on it. But, you can go nuts with other games as well. Equal Opportunities Employer and all that. Quite like the little dome thing that's going on there. It's quite nice.
Chemical tank, he calls it.
Mm.
I picked up this model at a game convention years ago and knew it would be my test piece when I watched Jerry scan using Salt simulate rust.
Oh, there you go. That'd be interesting. You have fun with that.
Oh, and he didn't print it himself. He bought it 3D printed, so he's trying to up the game on it, which is always good. I love the look with its salt on it.
Those are Bugman's Rangers. Yeah, those are the original Bugmans. Sweet like candy. Salt, salt, everywhere salt. Then break out the water in a toothbrush and go nuts.
More orange and more layers. I think that worked pretty well.
I think so. If only it hung on for a couple of days, you would have got to see the streaking effect.
Yes. You can't have all.
Yeah.
Also,
I want all.
The streaking video was shockingly short.
Don't worry, there's a second half coming where I go back and do it with enamels.
And
to compare and contrast.
Will we reach length of the snow tutorial?
No, I don't think they're ever going to let me do another snow tutorial. Shame, really. Shame.
Oh, so much plastic terrain.
There was a lot to be said in that snow tutorial. What can I say? That is comprehensive. You won't find anything that I missed in that snow tutorial.
Nothing that has been invented until now. If somebody comes up with some ingenious way of doing it, I'm still tempted by simply buying these snow sprays you have at Christmas for decorating windows.
No, there's no point. How'd you call them? Model mates used to sell them all year round, and it flakes off so quickly. If you want to do it as a one-off, if you want to take your terrain for Legion and then snowify it for a game, but just be aware that every time you handle it, move it, touch it, it will rub off, and then over time it goes yellow and just sort of flakes off itself anyway.
Even
so
it's
not. Yeah. Oh, because it's a water-based type thing. So the minute you spray a sealant on it, half of it will dissolve.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's not designed to be permanent because shops like to wash the snow off after Christmas.
Oh, they don't know what's good. What the
R2
hell?
agrees.
Do I need to get batteries in my C3PO alarm clock?
No.
Just
I was tidying in front of me yesterday. I found R2. I was like, fuck.
Did I ever show you my great? You need to look at the monitor.
Yes, I'm looking at the monitor. That's nice.
Yes.
Sure, does not wind up. Why would you need batteries for it? It's a classic wind-up clock.
Yeah, but it's not. And also the sound effects are purely electric.
Ooh, sound effects. So in that case, you will need batteries for
yes.
that. Because I think we all want to hear that.
Yes, the C3PO does the wake-up call.
Of course. I hate it. Is that what you're going to say, Dutch? R2 agrees. He doesn't like sound either.
Oi, nutter!
I don't like you either.
A sand tutorial. Oh god. What can be said about sand that hasn't been said already?
Have you ever seen the picture of the sand from the Sahara Desert? Somebody has a serving platter about that sort of size, so big fuck off round platter, and on it are like 40 different colors of sand,
two
or three, and every one of them has come from the Sahara, but it goes from like pale white through to red to almost black to vivid yellow. It's fucking amazing. See, I could spin sand out for an hour.
I've got the feeling Ryan is now suddenly crying in the corner, twitching. Jerry wants to do
sand. One editor suddenly cried out and was suddenly silenced.
Tomorrow, Warren gets his notice. I'm leaving. I'm not doing this anymore. What happened? Jerry threatened to do Sahara Sands. I know where this is going. Next up. Oh, that's a big picture. Big picture.
This is...
Mercian Knights.
Oh.
Knights of the Conquest.
Yep.
Bob.
It's Bob.
Bob.
The long form version of Kate.
So, he has done Conquest.
He's doing Conquesty. I quite like what Bob's done. He's decided not to go for a full-on everybody's the same kind of thing. There's a bit more of a retinue sort of feel to the unit, so not every bugger has the same heraldry painted on it. Now, I don't know if that's solely because he didn't want to have to paint all the shields red and wanted a bit more, you know, here's a knight in one heraldry and then here's his retinue of 4 guys and here's another knight and here's his retinue of 4 guys, or if it came down to a transfer sort of thing. I've limited transfers, I can't do them all the same, ergo I shall mix them up. But the Knights are all individually heraldic, and he's done quite nice look across them.
And a wall of text.
There is a wall of text because it's Bob. Bob does not put fantasy or sci-fi armies on the tabletop that don't have a story behind them, for which I'm eternally grateful.
Well,
and it's quite nice.
Most of us have stories for the minis, but most of us don't write them down.
You know, something people need to start doing then, because, you know, when you get run over by a bus tomorrow, how are people going to know what it's like?
I'm going to be run over by a bus. I've made several mistakes. First one is I wasn't in my car.
Creation had previously developed the life form elf, in many ways a better design, but the race's overinflated sense of their own self-importance was annoying. Plus, they'd forgot to put an off switch on them. May take billions of years, but if left to their own devices, elves completely fill up their respective universes with elves, as there's no room for anything else. In these unchecked universes, if someone visits from another universe, all they will find is a wall-to-wall elves, and the conversation will likely go, "Oh, look, an elf. Oh, another elf. There's an elf. That elf's pretending to be a tree. What's it sticking its elf? Oh, it's an elf. Am I standing on an elf?" So
Oh, God.
It's a little snippet of Bob's text. But I really like I like the story. I like the heraldry that he's gone for, and I like the presumably retinue basis then. So it's not just 12 men-at-arms in the same colour scheme. It's men-at-arms drawn from each of the retinues of the respective key Knights. So.
And he's gone mental on the decals.
Yeah, fucking go nuts. Absolutely, especially for 100 Kingdoms, where they are, you know, very knightly.
Show-offs?
Yeah, knightly in a excessive way. Because when you start looking at some of the heraldry that's out there, especially those, where was he there? Was he at Hastings? Not sure where he was. Regardless of wherever he was, probably, what's the one down in Cornwall? It's multi-period. Tintagel. It's probably a Tintagel or something like that. When you start looking at them, the fucking amount of heraldry going on is insane. So, the more the merrier.
Oh, look, Night Watch.
Yep. It's all good in the hood, as Bob says.
Currently listening to Clonk. I don't know if that's also the English title of the book.
No, but if it's the one where the painting is stolen,
Yes.
that's Thud.
Oh, yes. So literally a word sound likey translation.
Whenever you went Clog, I'm going, what the fuck could that? Oh, it has to be that.
Yes, it's Thud.
Thud.
One of my most beloved stories of the Night Watch, especially the part
That's my cow.
when Vimes goes mental in the dark. Where's my cow?
It's all the dwarves desperately looking round, trying to find these animals. None of them here.
Oh God, panic! He's mental.
It has possibly my favourite bit in it, which is saying something, because there are an awful lot of good bits. But it's near the end when the Summoning Dark finally gets caught by the Watching Dark, which is Sam Vime's own inner monologue that watches out for him. It's like, I'm not here to keep things out. I'm here to keep things in. Think how powerful I am. You can call me the Watching Dark. And the Summoning Dark fucks off. And now he says, if it comes down to a possibly immortal vengeance demon from the pits of hell and Sam Vimes, who do you think would win? I wouldn't want to place money on that. Could go either way.
No. I would potentially lean to Sam Vimes because that man has issues.
Oh, good old Sam.
It's just great that I love the books. I'm still very much sad that Terry has passed.
It took me a long time to read the final book, the Witch book. Hatful of Midnight. Sky Full of Midnight.
Something
Hatful
like
of
that.
Sky.
No, there was the
Sky Midnight Hat, hatful.com.
Something like that. There was a hat, there was a dress.
Yeah. I Shall Wear Midnight.
Yes.
I bought the book on release and it sat on my shelf for a good 7 or 8 months because it was like, when I read it, that's it. There's nothing else afterwards. It's all done now.
Yeah.
But yeah. If I was going absolutely librarian, no, going absolute bursar.
Who are you calling an animal? Oh, don't say that! Best wizard in the world, Rincewind.
Well, technically failed all his exams. But, it's not his fault.
No. How can he be blamed if his head can't keep any more spells because there's one spell in it scaring off everybody else?
One of the octavo spells is stuck in there.
Wizard.
Oh, we'll let you spell it with 3 Z's if you want. Shall we press on?
Oh, you think we're going on a rant on Pratchett books now that we're starting?
No, not at all. Not a bit of it. At some point, I'll start a project with my Pratchett miniatures.
If you start that, I'm going. That's the day I'm going to
buy some.
No, I have some. I have the witches.
Oh, there you go.
I have one witch, and I have the
Shepherd's Crown.
Oh, what is her name again? I always forget. Tiffany Aking.
Tiffany, with her frying pan.
Yes, I bought her for my daughter, and the other one I think was Weatherwax, and the other one was called. Oh, I can't get the English name.
Nanny Og.
Nanny Og.
Magrat Garlic.
No, Nanny Og for my wife.
Delightful. Apparently, Shepherd's Crown was the last one. I remember the story. I can't remember the name. I remember ending with Granny dying.
Yeah, Granny dying was
Sniffles.
Weird. I think that was the first time a major character has died in the Disc world, which wasn't an evil person of sorts.
You say that, but I'm pretty sure Lance Constable Cuddy would consider himself a big man in the Disc world.
Where was he from?
He was from Men at Arms.
Oh, there's the trouble with the translations.
He's the one who gets murdered by the assassin, and detritus goes off on one because his friend the dwarf is dead.
Oh yes, now I remember.
That was a plot device, I suppose. But he could be a character.
But that's the trouble with the Pratchett translations. They are that good that they even translated the names fittingly. So there's the manufacturers of the longbows and weapons.
Burly and strong in the arm.
Yes, and strong in the arm is translated as stark im Arm. So they did a literal translation. But on the other side, Vimes is called Mum. And it took me some time, but Vimes, correct me on this, Vimes is also some sort of sparkly fizzy juice champagne thing?
No.
It must have some other meaning, because Mum would be casual translation for courage.
Not that I'm aware of, unless it means something in England. Because I know they do a few plain words about it sounding like Vimes in places. But I never said he was definitely killed by the gun. He was at the bottom when the string moves. And they just find Caddy and his bent axe beside him. Well, that's an interesting one.
Carrot is actually translated literally carotte.
Oh.
So, and Corporal Angua is Corporal Angua.
Doesn't need much translating that one.
No, there's
it's handy when words don't need to be changed.
There are some at some point.
Oh, now I need to know what the kingdoms of the Rim are called, because there's obviously the kingdom of Jelly Baby.
They didn't translate that actually.
Did they not?
No.
It's so funny.
So for some reason, Jelly Baby was a funny sounding word, obviously, and they couldn't find something else. And the kingdom of 4X is also just 4X.
If it burns, there's a dragon nearby. That's cut my own throat dibbler.
Yeah, treibe mich selbst in Ruin Schnapper. Where Schnapper is a short form for Schnäppchen, which is a bargain.
So it doesn't have the cutting my own throat.
No, he's driving himself into ruin bargain. If you translate it by word.
There must be some jokes then that.
Oh, there. You remember this
change, because I remember the.
You remember the assassin, which is called Tea Time, and not Tea Time.
Yeah.
They translated him to Kaffee trinken. Coffee drinker. Whatever, and you don't really get that in the book if you read it on the fly. But
how is it properly pronounced then? Because I'm assuming it's not pronounced coffee drinker.
No, it's Kaffee trinken. So it's basically just a pause because you can't really split the word that well as you could with tea. Well, yes. Pierce, World War II 20 millimeter. Yes.
Yeah.
we need to do an extra on Pratchett sometime.
Yeah, we do Pratchett one at some point. Discuss how we put it on the gaming table.
Yes. So here is Waffen-SS Winterkampfgruppe.
Yeah, Pierce has been painting. He probably had a free weekend and knocked all this out. I imagine it's Pierce.
He did this in a week.
Probably not, but who knows how long he paints at a fucking incredible rate. And when he's not painting for himself, he's painting for companies for their box art and things. So, or he's writing rules, or he's doing his day job after the kids.
You are saying he's making money by doing hobby?
Mm.
How dare he?
No, he's a terrible bastard, isn't he? Terrible bastard. So we'll start the bidding with these will be 20mm figures. So small, like one of those internet dogs. I am small. And because Pierce probably for Battle Grip, because he is a big fan of Battle Grip and also helps write Battle Grip. I have Pacific here to review. Actually, they've sent me.
I need to
must get to reading that.
To tell him once.
Die!
Can't?
No, that would fit too.
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
Yeah, that works. Yeah, because it's oak leaf camo isn't particularly taxing. It's a little bit time consuming on 28, but it's not particularly taxing. When you start dropping it down into scales, because I know because I've done some of it on 15mm, it's a right pain in the hole. 20mm is somewhere in between. It's going to be a pain in the hole and time consuming and taxing.
Look at this detailing he's done. This is a 20mm figure. I can see the color boarding on the hat and on the shoulder pads. This is insane. You mad?
Just say, if you're going to recreate specific battles, or if you're going to be playing historic wargamings, then you should really, try and get it as accurate as possible. I remember I was looking for information about a thing once, fucking years ago. I think it may have been about specific tigers in Normandy or something like that, and somebody threw up a picture, and then Piers went, yeah, it's not that because this, and this, and then broke it down and then actually found where that picture was from. His knowledge of the period is fucking almost encyclopedic. But it's just really nice. And I really like the basing as well. Obviously, they've got that winter, autumn feel. No snow on the ground yet, so everything's dying off. Everything's very... There's not a huge amount of green going on, and where the green is very weathered down. And when you see things like specifically the heavy weapons or the machine gun teams lying in the dirt, it really shows just how effective that camo is. Or it might be because I'm not wearing my glasses and everything's blurring. Let me just pop my glasses on. No, it's still spot on. It's just beautifully done. It's really nice. It makes me want to finish painting my Germans. Not that I will, you understand, but
you can.
Seeing something like that does make me.
You can contain yourself.
NAM, when I chatted to Warwick and Pierce earlier this year, before the event.
Stay
I
indoors.
can't remember anymore. It's all fucking blurring. NAM is not going to be battle grip because that's not what they want to do. And weirdly, I had this long conversation with them between filming, where a group of friends and myself sat down over the course of a couple of weeks and got stoned and drunk and started to write a 54mm NAM game, where we tried to work out what it was we wanted to play. Because if you think Vietnam, you probably think some of the films, the likes of Platoon or that sort of thing, where it's not about the mass. It's not about the mass battles. It's about the individuals and the stories and their interpersonal play essentially, and that's what they're looking to do. Tour of Duty, yeah. Sorry, Tour of Duty used to start with painted black, if I remember. So the plan is not battle grip NAM, although they may do one anyway. But I know the one Warwick and Piers were working on is more platoon based, small unit action, and more about the campaign. It's about how long you're in for your tour of duty and what happens to you. You know, like every time you go out, you roll an event to see, do you get ambushed? Does a mine go off? Is there an engagement type of thing? So, you know, you're at your fire base and you're constantly being sent out and you're watching the time tick down. It's like, is your platoon going to go home complete, or are they going to get fucking ruffle stomped? So yeah, so that was the plan when we talked about it. I don't know if that is still the plan as they've started writing more of it, because these things change. You know, you go, this is the game we're going to make, and then over time it develops into something else. So curious to see how it goes regardless. But yeah, so that's quite nice. There's the guy with the reversible Parker on him as well. It's got the winter fleece lining. They can flip around whenever it snows. God, they're gorgeous. I should paint my Germans.
Last project of the day.
Yeah, let's move away from that before I paint my Germans.
Oh, if you do it on cam, I'll just leave the stream on. Now that you've got 2 working webcams.
It's not going to happen.
So, new Old Hammer Elves by Firelock 22.
Yes. I believe we looked at this a while ago when he was just starting off, and it was mostly Oathmarky things and, of course, the Horlicks tub in the background for the elf.
I think so too.
But there have been some advances since then. So we have, these are the original Dragon Princes of Calidor from the mid-90s, and they still look fucking great.
But they're on the wrong basis, aren't they?
They are on the wrong basis.
He's putting the trees on the wrong basis. What's wrong with you, man?
It's outrageous. I'm surprised the trees aren't on squares just to drive me up the wall. But yeah, very nice, clean color scheme on them. Weirdly, it has even though they're old models, they have a more modern paint job, because I think they painted the modern stuff white and blue and looked more like that, whereas the original Dragon Princes were all in greens and reds. But I really love their armor. It's gorgeous. Oh, there's a bolt thrower. Elf bolt thrower.
I love the paint job he's done on the wooding.
I think that's just been contrasted or inked. But either or. He's added fucking bowstrings.
Well, it's not as much work as rigging on ships.
No, you're right there. I wouldn't do that. Fuck that.
Plus, he doesn't even need to glue them. He just needs to literally string them around and done.
I don't know, because is there a better sideways on picture?
They go from here, pass here, and you can see that they're
no. Go to the middle picture, and you can see that they're not side by side. They've been glued in such a way that it looks like they're behind 2 levels of bolts. So yes, they have just been strung and glued, but I think that bottom one has been drilled through, so it's going through the machine, so it's actually interacting with the bottom level. There's a level of thought that has gone into where that string is going on those bows, on those armatures, that didn't require to be thought about, to be brutally honest. That's really nice. I like it. I have 6 of those elf bolt throwers because I used to play a fucking filthy elf list. Just go, what's your army? Well, do I not want to be there on turn 2? Let's just fucking remove that.
Let's
50 points each back in the day.
Don't go on and think about what you paid for them.
Oh, who even cares what I was paying for them? Just the fact that you could put 2 on the fucking tabletop for every 1 Empire cannon. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I need a moment to myself. But yeah, so some really nice elves. And you can see the mix of GW, more modern GW, and modern Oathmark / North Star elves. And they blend together very well. Even if they are on the wrong bases, you can't really knock that. I mean, that grid picture
but
there.
at least he's done a sensible job in giving them regiment bases and fitting them so neatly that you barely can see the round bases.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
Yeah, just apply glue to them. Just throw some glue and just keep them on that lovely square so you can play with it.
Oh, look, there's a squirrel. Glue, 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 glue. And when he gets home, he's going to have a nice surprise.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll enjoy that. It'll be fun. I'm sure he'll like that.
As I said, that was the last of the project, but we also have a indie that does things that are not miniatures.
Things that are not miniatures, Your Honor?
Yes. Tell us about Timecast.
Oh, you're going to be annoyed because they do miniatures.
Oh, no.
But they do miniatures in tiny scales.
Tiny scales?
Tiny scales. Timecast came to my attention years ago via the medium of the flexible latex roads and rivers.
Yes.
I was after these type of things for years, and eventually I found them here, and then I just started exploring their website. They've got a really
Timecast started in 1999. Dude, your website definitely looks like from 1999.
I don't know why people complain about this. It does exactly what I want to.
Where do you want to go first?
Let's have a look at his flexible things.
Flexible
may as well have a look at flexible things. I've lost your Twitch stream, so I can't see where people are talking. So, you can get them painted or unpainted type of nonsense, but you see the green line in the middle to view the various models. Please click on the blah blah blahs. So rivers and water courses, I have spent several £100. I could fill about 4 8x4s with rivers in various scales, from tiny streams to fucking massive things, which is always good, clean family fun, I feel. And I quite like them because they do step ups. So you get like little junctions and stuff where it will go from a thin... Oh no, you need to go up again. Stop. See the green line in the middle to view the various models? Click on that. There we go. So you can go from a thin section and then you can put it through a branch into a thicker, so you can actually have rivers turning into streams and tributaries, and marshing off half of your board, or you don't have to. But they're very nice because they're latex and flexible, so you can sit them down and chuck them over stuff. It's great family fun. And they do this style of thing again in you'll find it is just more or less the same thing in various sizes, so the extra large and so on and so forth. But for anybody looking for rivers and things that you can store away, fucking ideal, because you just chuck them into a box. Chuck them flat into a box, by the way, because I didn't do that one day, and one of them's got a really weird fucking bend in it now. Yeah. Hey ho.
They look like they're handmade. There's not much automation in those, I think.
No, I imagine they're cast just from a silicon mold of some sort, or well, it won't be a silicon, probably a hard mold because it's a latex. They just paint into it. But the roads, dirt tracks, and the cobbled sections are the same. And I've seen many companies, Magister's Militarum, do something similar. I bought those years ago. I wish I'd discovered these guys before I'd found MM's version of cobblestones, because quite frankly the MM ones are balls. They have cobblestones that go at fucking right angles for reasons best known to themselves. These guys at least fucking follow the direction of their bastard road. Yeah, so anybody who's looking to do anything vaguely historic or fantasy, I suppose technically you could use them for sci-fi as well, but mostly I'm going to see these as being historical and fantasy sort of things. But being able to lay them up and over a hill is always good, because I used to just make my stuff out of 6mm MDF and then sculpt it, and they're great and they're robust, but the minute you want to put up a hill or down a hill, you've got a big fucking Evel Knievel like wooden ramp. So being
and
able
here
to
comes the Land Raider. Whee!
Yeah, so being able to drop latex and have it curve over it is great. So moving away from the latex stuff, they do a wide variety of models. So if you go to Model Soldiers for war games, where are you at? Up to the top. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, you've gone off book again.
Yes.
No idea where you've gone. Mostly smaller scales, so 10mm or 15mm, but they do Old Glory, do rank and file, and I don't know who does their Cold War stuff. Or
So
rather, I don't know
miniatures
whose Cold War
for
is.
wargamers and collectors. This page here.
I don't know where you are, because you went somewhere different. Yes, that's the one. That one. Don't go away from there. But yeah, if you go into the Cold War section first, for people who are doing sort of Team Yankee or that sort of nonsense, or their own version, Sabre Squadron, you can pick up quite a chunky selection, broken down to the Soviet, British, American, and West German. Some of these. This Timecast's own range, is it? Because I know they sell stuff from other people for the others. I don't know. I guess I'll never know. I could read. I'm not going to. But the ranges are, depending on where you're getting them from, fairly comprehensive. There's still stuff coming, so Cold War is relatively new. So the
Doesn't seem
Bundeswehr
like the West German army is very popular. There's literally one picture.
Yeah, but that one picture is tows, stingers, 81mm mortar, a mortar fire control, your engineers, dragon team and law, machine gun, tripod and bipod, and your rifle grenadiers and command. That's an entire infantry army there. You don't need anything else. It's not like GW. They're not going to have to add a new pack of Bundeswehr at some point. You know, that is your infantry. Now, vehicle-wise, they're a bit lacking, but I think most of the vehicles will come via...
Well, the tanks don't come via anybody.
No, I'm trying to think of a 10mm. There's a 10mm range. Is it Kings and Care and Kings? Because like I said, I don't know. Well, there's a veteran there. But so that is a Timecast exclusive range. Okay. Because the other ranges they sell for other people, like OG. Dun, dun, dun. Now the only problem with having a single designer is it may be a while before they get somebody else in. Vehicles are designed to be 144 in scale. That's a shame. I think it's Kings and Care.
Plastic Soldier Company?
Plastic Soldier have started doing, but who fucking knows what they'll be making next week. Every time I look at them, they've got another fucking scale. Karen King is 10 mil.
So let's see, what do they have for scenery trees and scenic materials? I just have to say the site is horrible to navigate.
So you keep clicking on things, you're like Lloyd.
Yes.
Click what you're told. Don't jump around, boy.
You didn't tell me, and we saw everything. So we now go on. Whee! Down the rabbit hole. Oh, so how do I get back now? So back on Cold War.
If you even want to push into one of the others, so if you go to the Soldiers for War games again, you can have a look. Obviously, Old Glory, people will know Old Glory. Oh, Karen King do 10 mil, but not for moderns. It'll come to me. It will come to me.
Sooner or later.
Probably about 3 a.m.
Rise of Rome. For a minute, I thought I saw something about Scottish, but yeah, it's
Good done.
Picked Scots and Irish, armies and enemies of Byzantium. Byzantium? Whatever.
Busies. That's why they just call them busies.
Okay. Scots and Irish. Well, those are close. What? Two? Warriors with command and chariots. That's it.
Don't want that. Next thing you know, you'll find yourself in a ditch, upside down. If they've never seen the adverts from Northern Ireland about never ever drinking chariot.
What is he doing?
Which one? The guy holding the reins at the front?
Top left.
Guy holding the reins.
Looks like he's falling off or something.
It's because he's got one foot up in front of him as he holds the reins. Imagine the model was built and he was a charioteer, because he's essentially a charioteer. Visualize it. Come with me on this adventure, Tim. Think.
So if nothing, this is a stroll down to 2000 web design par excellence. This is really...
I'm going to make sure every end of the week is always designed like this, because it seems to annoy you and Lloyd. Whereas here's the thing, I couldn't give a fuck what their webs look like, as long as their miniatures and stuff work for me.
The thing is, I don't mind the look. The look is totally fine by me, but that's the pages that come after you click one are so inconsistent and go all over the place that you literally lose yourself in them. It's like a maze. You're never going to get back to the main page.
Of course you get back to the right page. You were there for a reason. You're not there to click around. You're there to find stuff.
Yes, but for finding you need clicking or some sort of search.
No.
There is no search.
Why do you need a search? You want to look at some 15 mil ancients, you go to Old Glory 15s. And then you click on the relevant thing. Say, well, I don't know why you need a search. You're so weird, you people. It's your need to click on stuff.
Well, this could be interesting. Modern German house. Well, I hate to bring it to you. That's not a modern German house. Not in the slightest.
Are you sure?
Yes, pretty sure.
Because why would they be selling it? Could it be to go with something like, oh no, a 1980s Cold War game? In which case it would be a modern German house?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Because I'm pretty sure it's not an ancient German house.
I agree with you on that. Very much so. The industrial buildings look nice, but on 6mm scale, still a bit too big for Battletech. What I find interesting is the
trying to remember
Time
what skill Battletech is.
the time range he's having on the copyright on every little picture there is. This is from 2015. The one before was from 2005. And look, this is a South German supermarket because that's Aldi Süd.
Yeah.
And that one, Rossmann, yeah, that's a Kaffee Hagen. He's going into details.
I clicked on that. It doesn't open for me. It just opened to a blank page. Or was that a different link this time? Yeah, it says not secure, and it's just not opening any page at all.
Yeah, that's the trouble with legacy websites that haven't pushed HTTPS. You're getting a warning on any modern browser. You just need to click ignore, and then it goes away.
No, there's no warning. It's just a blank page.
That's weird. The one that Mr. Holland gave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. That's weird.
What should we be looking at? Are you taking us to lovely German 1980s? So now in Firefox. Is Firefox better?
I've used Firefox and it doesn't really work with their passing error. Scale
Look.
1, category 3, subcategory 19.
There's a font that looks like that. What do you call that one that all the kids hate?
Comic
Comic
Sans.
Sans. See, again, that doesn't bother me.
I have a friend who goes south every time he sees something on Comic Sans.
People get too hung up on things. These people are here to bribe me with miniatures, not to provide me with entertainment on their website.
Category 1.
10 mil Germans. Oh, it's minifigs.
3. Category ID 3.
What are you doing now?
Subcategory 19.
Oh my God. What's happening?
Oh, West Germans.
I'm so confused.
He found West German vehicles. Infantry, Wiesel, Leopard, Haubitze, Jagdpanzer, Marder.
Take your word for it. All I can see is me and you.
Oh,
Oh, no, oh. There we go. I seen the cursor come out from below me. It was good. Look how flat it is. Hi, man.
well, it is flat.
Schilke? No.
Oh, I know this one. This is one I drove when I was in service.
Choo-choo. I'm a truck.
Yes. 7-ton, fully all-terrain capable. You know how much fun it is to ride one of those through terrain? It's glorious.
Crashing and bobbing and whizzing about.
Yeah, go. Sadly, the smallest military vehicle Germany ever built isn't in here.
What's that?
The
Is it smaller?
Iltis.
Is it?
That's a VW. Basically, think of a Gen 1 Golf stripped of everything, made with large all-terrain tires, getting some kind of bucket under it, and a micro Jeep, if you will. Totally,
Awesome.
totally underpowered, but four-wheel drive. And again, a lot of fun driving around in the woods. But don't try going over 100 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn. You're going to have a bad time, because you end up with a hearing aid, because the wheels make such a loud noise that you can't hear anything.
Sweet.
Yes.
Sweet like a Kübelwagen.
Exactly. It's basically the follow-up to the Kübelwagen, but somehow they managed to make it a bit smaller and crappy.
I'm surprised they found a way to make it smaller. There wasn't much fucking room in one of those.
Yeah, they basically used the round parts and made them straight. Yeah. So I'm calling it a day today. We almost got to half an hour.
Almost. Just went off on one.
A bit.
When you start doing your Hackerman things, I think that's when it happened.
No, I think we went off the rails when Pratchett came around and
Pratchett was mentioned.
Distracted everybody. Yes, Lorna, I'm sorry. Old man gets tired, and Jerry has to go to bed too.
Do.
At some point in the future.
Got to get past the fucking feet on my floor first. They're vicious things.
Didn't they crawl up to you yet?
No, I don't think so. I can hear them scratching, mind you, like the rats in the walls.
So, something like Pet Cemetery when they rise from the ground.
It's all good. It is all good.
So if we don't hear from Jerry by tomorrow, we all know he's been murdered by 16 little feet.
No, little feet. Oh, I don't want to get murdered. I've a fella to interview tomorrow.
Oh, anything you can share or?
Yeah, there's a guy called Yaroslav. He is one of the people who started Phalanx board games. And we're going to do like a monthly, not quite a podcast, but a monthly chat. Kind of like this. They have a fairly beefy back catalogue of games as it is. So we're just going to like pick a game and then talk about it, and then just anything else we derail into. And if people want to ask them questions and stuff, they can do that. Because they want to get stuff done and then realized they couldn't get a publisher, so they started publishing their own games. So they did things like the U-Boat game and shit like that. And they've a couple of Discworld games. And then people came to them going, can you publish our game? So they ended up becoming a board game publisher as well for other people. Nanty Narking is, I believe, what we're going to kick things off with tomorrow. And then there's some new games coming and reprints coming in coming months. But the plan is once a month, in the middle of the month, I'll sit down, talk to him for half an hour, and then like the first week of the month, then that will go out. So there'll be like little monthly things, because they've been a partner for fucking ages, but never really heard anything from them. Probably because they're board gamey.
Well, I'd very much like a re-release of the Discworld board game, because that's one missing in the collection.
I think they sell it, but I think it might be Polish language only. But I'll find out tomorrow.
The last time I saw it was on eBay for a horrible price, and now I'm not buying that for.
Well, download Duolingo. It's free. Learn Polish. You can pick that fucker up.
That would be an option.
Say, or we lend you Lloyd's wife.
I don't know if that would sit well with my wife or Lloyd.
Just to fucking teach you how to play Discworld. I don't know where your fucking head went. Did you hear that? It's outrageous.
It's a show for adults.
And
I never said I'm adult. Nor that I want to.
Yeah, Nanty Narking is a reskin, a Victorian reskin of Discworld, but they had Discworld still in Polish on their website, but I don't know if it's still there. So, Cards was made by somebody from Nerd. So I imagine it's balls.
We're going off the run again.
Yeah. We were saying goodbye, and then you distracted us with Polish women.
Hey, fuck you.
People, thank you for being here. Jerry, thank you for being here.
Bye.
We will see you tomorrow. Bye.